Everybody. Well, I'm looking forward to this presentation tonight. I always do because it's an exciting time in which we are living and we are watching daily events transpire that are really just transforming this whole industry before our eyes. I normally record these. I'm going to record this one again tonight, but about 3 days after I record them and send them out, they're out of date because the value of that coin keeps going up. And we're not in a place to be able to just, stay at that same value and the number of coins that are being created. So this is why we have to have these webinars to get the latest information out. So my videos are still floating around out there, but you got to sort of extrapolate and go up onto up onto Bitmart and up on the DEX trade and see what the current value of the coins are because they're going up all the time. So this is going to be about an hour webinar. It's not going to be a sales pitch. It's going to be educational. So if you're brand new to the Texas Coin family, or you're just looking into it as a possibility, you want to check it out, somebody invited you to this webinar, then welcome to you also. Don't feel under any pressure. There's no big deals that I'm going to offer you that you got to make a decision by 10 o'clock tonight or anything like that. It's just giving you the facts that you can be in a place where you can make an informed decision for yourself. This is not a Ponzi scheme. You're actually getting something for your money. It's not an investment opportunity. It's basically just buying your own computer node or a Texas miner where it mines those Texas coins. So you'll be actually getting something for your money, and you own that computer node, and you also own the coins that is producing. You're taking one share of what's on that Texas coin network. So that's what you'll be getting. Nobody gets a share of your mine or a share of your coins or a share of your money. It's not a pyramid scheme where we all make ourselves rich for getting in early, and now we got to run around and scamper and find other people to put underneath us to push us up so we can earn more. The people that came in 12 months ago and bought a Texas mine, they paid $995, the same as what you'll pay today. The coins that they produce, the same as what they're producing for that you would be producing today. So if they bought one mine back 12 months ago and your mine's producing 1.3, 1.4 coins a day today, that's what their mine is also producing because they're part of their whole network. Now, their advantage is they got in before you and me, so they're producing more overall coins because they've got 12 months, 365 days of coin production under their belt. So that's the only difference between those that got in early and those that got in now. Is not the value so much of coming in early and making money over the people that are coming in later. It's the fact that they got in early and was able to begin producing coins or mining coins. So if you're new to this industry, the terms we use for the computer network is called a mine, and all those little computer nodes will be considered little mines within that network mine. So you'll be owning one of those mines. If you do own one of those mines, you'll be called a miner. And the production of those coins in your mine or in your computer node is called mining. So you're actually mining coins. That doesn't mean you have to get a backhoe license and start digging up the dirt. But that's some of the terminology that's used in the industry. The other term I want to give to you tonight is a term called mega hash. Mega hash is just simply the production of those mines in that network to produce. It's their mining ability. And so one mine will be functioning at 100 mega hash to produce the coins for itself. So if you've got 3 mines at 3 computer nodes, your account is functioning at 300 mega hash, producing 3 times the amount of coins on a daily basis compared to a person that's just got one mine. So that's a little bit about the industry that seems very vague to people, and I understand that. It was very vague to me. I've been with Texas Coin for just 8 months, and 8 months ago, I didn't even know how to spell crypto. So now I'm here training on it. So I've learned how to spell it since those days. And we've seen a tremendous amount of change in the industry just in this last 8 months. Really, it started in November of last year when President Trump got elected into office November the 6th, because the very first thing he did, or one of the very first things he did, within a month, even before coming into the office at the White House, he had appointed the first crypto czar for the United States. Very first, David Sachs, the COO of PayPal. And so he was appointed by the White House. And so he was then brought in the early part of this year. And when Trump first got into office, he he actually signed an executive order wanting to make all the various government agencies work together to position the United States as the #1 crypto capital of the world. At that point in time, we weren't. We may be in about 5th in the world, but now we're #1 in the world, thanks to President Trump and the legislation that has been passed based upon that executive order that he signed there in the first week in office. So March 7th, he actually held his first crypto conference or crypto summit at the White House. And David Sachs, of course, the crypto czar, was there to head that up. Actually, his title is crypto/IT. No, AI, crypto/AI czar of the White House. So he's heading up that entire industry, AI as well as the crypto industry. So they had their first summit in March the 7th, and there's pictures all over the Google if you want to ever research that. And they started laying a track down to put President Trump's executive order in play. And that actually was passed just probably 3 weeks ago in the House of Representatives. You would have heard, maybe not, of the Genius Act. Genius Act. Genius. Let me see if I got that written down here somewhere. Genius. There we go. Genius Act. This stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovations for the U.S. Stable Coin. What's a U.S. stable coin? Well, a stable coin is none of those coins that people buy and sell and trade out there on the network, out there in the exchanges. It's not the meme coins. It's actually what those meme coins or other coins get translated into in terms of monetarizing them before you pull them off the exchanges. So when you monetize the value of various coins that are being sold and traded, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple coin, XRP, when those are monetarized to actually use them, you got to change them into USDC, which is United States dollar coin, or USDT, T for tether. It's tethered to the United States dollar, 1-to-1. So USDC is 1-to-1 to the US dollar. USDT is 1-to-1 to the US dollar. So you have to change your coins that you sold ultimately to USDC, USDT to pull them off, say Coinbase or Kraken or Robinhood, where your bank account's tied to, because those exchanges are regulated by the United States, so you can tie your bank accounts to them and pull that money off. So part of this legislation that was passed, called the Genius Act, was to mandate that the banks begin to move into the space of cryptocurrency and provide a safe haven for the stablecoin, USDC, USDT. So you can get your USDC out there in trading when you sell coins and bring that into your bank as USDC without having to go through other intermediates. So they are reluctantly dragging their feet because for 10 years they fought against cryptocurrency. In fact, our previous government, our previous administration in the White House was hostile. I mean, openly hostile towards cryptocurrency. So when President Trump came into office, there was actually 3 lawsuits in play by the IRS and the Department of Treasury against who was Binance and Kraken, and maybe even Coinbase. But some of our big 3 exchanges had big lawsuits against them. So that was dropped actually the end of March, beginning of April. They dropped all that. That agency that was in play, that was called the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, which is no longer. They've got wrapped up and put into a broom closet somewhere in the White House, and they are no more. So that provided us a very, very stable and strong and positive platform for people like you and me who did not even know what cryptocurrency was all about to begin to get into that space. So it wasn't long before those executive orders were coming out, and then we had our summit at the White House that Governor Abbott wanted a declaration. So he passed Senate Bill 21, which was to cause the state agencies to work together to make Texas the #1 state for cryptocurrency in the United States, and also to establish a cryptocurrency cash reserve or crypto reserve for the state. So President Trump also did that. They got $19 billion worth of cryptocurrency as a Federal Reserve currency. So they're hedging against their own US dollar because it's going down in value, where cryptocurrency is going up in value. So it won't be long before Fort Knox won't have gold in it, it'll have cryptocurrency in it. So that's the world that we're living in, and I'll just give you a little bit of a background of that so you don't have to be afraid. This is something that's a very positive time to get involved in. The federal government, the state government is very, very proactive and positive towards cryptocurrency. And so part of that Genius Act was not only to mandate that the banks get involved in cryptocurrency in the stable coins. They're not mandated that they've got to go out there and work on the exchanges, but they're going to hold your stable coin. Also, in that legislation that was passed, the Genius Act, was that in your 401ks, and your other investment opportunities, they have to offer you the opportunity of being able to invest in cryptocurrency as well. So that's the world in which we're living. Most of us have lived in a digital currency world. 99% of the population has for the last 15 years. If you ever dealt in PayPal or Venmo or Zelle or Cash App, if you ever had your paycheck direct deposited to your bank account, that's all digital currency. No one's running around picking up money from one bank and driving across town and depositing it into another bank. It's all done digitally, ones and zeros. So that's the world in which you live, but the crypto world is one step back further than from the digital currency, and the fact that it can work outside of the banks. And so now, under President Trump, the banks have to come in and play friendly with cryptocurrency. You know, I've had 2 bank accounts closed down. The actual merchant services of those banks shut me down because people were paying for their mines using debit cards or credit cards, and the bank found out that there was cryptocurrency somewhere involved in that third-party merchant service transaction with debit and credit cards, and they shut down that aspect of my Chase did that, and Wells Fargo both shut down my merchant services that were tied to my business accounts. So that won't happen. In fact, I put this up on our Telegram just a minute ago. I went to Wells Fargo, who shut me down because of Texas Coin, and I got a nice Wells Fargo debit card now. See that? Whoop, there we go. With my Texas Coin logo on it. That's tied to my Texas Coin business account. So that I flash that in their face every time I use it. Isn't that something? So Wells Fargo allows you to load up logos for your debit card. So I created that. Well, I didn't. AI created that for me, and I loaded it up, and there you have it. So that's a little bit about the industry, where we are, and we don't know where it's going, but it's going in a very, very positive direction. Lisa and I got involved with the Texas Coin opportunity because we had learned in November about David Sachs being appointed as our first crypto czar. That's got our ears perked up, and we said, what's going on here? When Trump makes a move like that, you better look up and listen, because he's moving in a direction, and locomotives won't be able to stop him. So when we heard about the Texas Coin opportunity in December of last year, we drove up actually to McKinney to meet Bobby Gray, the founder of Texas Coin, and to hear his philosophy, where he was going, what he wanted to do with this opportunity, look at the computer networks that were, or the computer nodes that are networked together. Actually, at that time, was in his garage. And so we saw it from the very beginning there. Well, not really the very beginning. It's probably 10, 11 months into it. So the very first blockchain that was created on the Texas network was back in January. And then in May, they had created enough coins to be able to go up on the DEX trade and start selling these coins. And so it was selling at 0.8 of a penny. back in May of last year. So from May to December, when we came on with this opportunity, it had gone to 8 cents a coin. 8 cents a coin is when we got in. Now it's $2.85 a coin. I mean, this is rapidly going in value. So we wanted to get this opportunity out to our family and friends and to let them know about it. So if you're invited onto this webinar, somebody likes you, they want to give you this opportunity of setting yourself up, because it's a window of time. This is not going to be open forever, because there's a limited number of mines that will be purchased. There's a limited number of coins that will be actually produced on this network over a period of 136 years. Then that's the end of the production of coins. And so that limitation in mines and coins gives value to the mines and value to the coins. And so we met with Bobby, wanted to make sure he was real and what his history was. Bobby's been with the industry for 13, 14 years. In fact, he used to mint alternate currency to the US dollar. So he minted gold, silver, copper coins. In fact, back in 2012, he was invited out to the House of Representatives, a subcommittee there that was looking into alternate currency for the United States. And so he was able to bring advice and word in there for that. So we are in an incredible time. We talked to Bobby. We asked him what his plans were, where he saw this going. And there we learned about the Texas coin and how it's going to be 100% produced or mined, created here in Texas. So although it's not a stable coin, it is stable because there's a lot of protection involved and monitoring involved that doesn't go overseas, where it can be gobbled up by other countries or other foreign entities. So it's 100% mined in Texas. That doesn't mean you have to be a Texan to be part of it. You can be anywhere in the United States, but they do limit ownership to these mines to 10% overseas. So there's 1 million mines in the network. So 10% of a million is 100,000. So if you're overseas, you're part of 100,000 people that can be involved in the mining of this operation in Texas. So don't think you missed out. That's 100,000 is quite a number. So you're in a good spot, and you get your family and friends in as well. But anybody in the United States can be part of this. So that's exclusively mined in Texas. Number two, it's crowdsourced. That means people like you and me can get involved and own a mine, or 2 or 3 up to 9. Big corporations cannot come in and buy up 51% shares of this network and then take ownership of it and move it sideways. So that's why I don't go after the big whales, because they don't offer me anything more than mom and pop down the street who would like to invest in this opportunity for themselves. Actually, you're really investing in yourself for your own future. So with 9 mines being the maximum amount that you can actually purchase, it gives a level playing field for all of us. And we're not competing against major corporations that can sink millions of dollars in, where we cannot do that. So that was the second thing. You limit at 9 mines. So, or that's the third thing. The second thing was crowdsourced. So we are able to get involved and get our family and friends involved, and we were happy with that. So number 3 was 9 mines is the maximum that you can purchase. And so that's a good thing as well, because we give stability to it. It's thousands of people that are involved in that. In fact, I wrote down just before we started, we've got 18,482 people as of 15 minutes ago. It may have changed already. It has a habit of doing that. In fact, I had my dashboard open on the screen at mindtxc.com, looking at that dashboard, and on my other screen, I was entering another miner in, and I saw that change, 18,335 to 336. It popped up. So it's instant. So if you're on the dashboard at mindtxc.com, and anybody can go onto that dashboard.
Recording in progress.
Oh, there you go. No recording. Now it's recording. And get that up and running and see that dashboard. Everybody can see that. You don't have to be part of the mining operation to see that, because that's real figures in real time. So there's 18,482 miners that are currently mining in this operation. So it's by invitation only. So you have to be invited in by a friend. So the network is secure. You just can't find it on the network and get in and start mining these coins. You have to be invited in. You have to have a sponsoring person that gets you into this network, and you can start mining. Now, it's not multi-level marketing. You don't have to share this with anybody if you don't want. There's no requirements. There's no monthly minimals, nothing like that. So if you want to just come in and own a mine, and that mine is, you pay $995 for that mine, and you start making coins immediately, and you don't have to share it with anybody. You own the mine, you own the coins. Anytime you can take those coins off. There are a bunch of people, 100 people up on DexTrade and Bitmart right now buying and selling coins. Why are they buying coins? Well, people that get in now and buy one mine, your mine's producing 1.3 coins a day right now. Well, they want to say, man, I came late to the party. I need 500 coins. So they can go out the DexTrade, buy 500 coins. It cost you a little over $1,000 to buy those coins, and bring those 500 coins back into your cold storage wallet and hold them there. And then in 6 months, they may be worth $16 a coin or $25 a coin a couple of months after that. So people are buying coins, as well as those that got in early and have produced, I don't know, 25, 30,000 coins by now. They're selling some of those off. I mean, they were making those coins when they're 8 cents, 10 cents each. So to get, $3 for each of those coins, that's good return. So there are people buying and selling. You can do that from day one. There's no stipulations, guys. You own the mine and you own the coins. You can jolly well do whatever you want with them. Now, I've not sold one coin. Well, why? Well, I'm waiting for the coins to be $16 a coin. Then I'll give consideration to selling half of my coins and paying my mortgage off. So, but I know I can go on a DexTrade right now and you'll see people trading, buying, and selling those coins. In fact, let me see if I can share my screen. I had that up a minute ago. Okay, you should be seeing that. This is DexTrade. This is one of the platforms where the coins are being traded. Now, look, take a look at that graph, we got May of last year, May of 24, 8 cents a coin. Look at that graph. You don't see graphs like that very often, stair-stepping its way up to $2.81 right now. That is extremely powerful. And so we got, and in fact, if I went back to December of last year, right in here, December the 8th or 18th, I would find my coins right there at 8 cents a coin is what they were being traded for. Yeah, 7.9, 8 cents a coin they were being traded for when we got in. And so we've written this up. So anytime you want to get in because it's going up, 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 up. And so you'll be able to produce coins and see those values change. So we're on DexTrade. We are also on Bitmart. There's Bitmart here. Same staircase you see moving on up. It's being traded on Bitmart for $2.85 right now, right at this second. So that's what will be happening to your coins as you are producing them on a daily basis. So it's not a scam. This company spends $100,000 a month on billboards over DFW, in Austin, in Houston. They're also in Nashville. They're in Phoenix. They're in other places where people are coming on in, and there's a group of people there that says, please get a billboard up in our area. So Bobby spends money to put a billboard up in the area. Most of them are digital, so it tracks the value of those coins. So you'll be able to see those driving to work every day, the value of those coins going up. You can't come into the network just by seeing a billboard. Those are there to support yourself, people like you and me who are inviting family and friends in. They'll say, man, I saw that at the airport. I was going through Terminal A and there was a billboard there that talked about Texacoin. So those billboards there are to support miners like you and me, so that there's a lot of interest out there. And so they're on every billboard in DFW area, DFW airport, I should say, DFW airport. So if you're in the DFW airport, those great huge ones outside will have Texacoin on it, flashing through the cycle. If you go to any of the terminals inside, they have the smaller digital, some are digital and some are static. billboards there. So we're an exciting time. You could not be in a better place and better time to take advantage of this. If you were trying to get involved 12 months ago, it was a hostile environment. The feds were after you, but now not so. So that's where we are, and it's exciting to see that. So I'm going to go onto my whiteboard here and share that with you so I can start just crunching some numbers for you so you can see how this thing works. So just give me a minute while I set this up. All right, you should be seeing my whiteboard there. And if you have questions as we go along, Lisa's on board in the background there, so she could answer some of your questions as we go along, but I'll try to leave time at the end for Q&A as well, just so that you get all your questions answered tonight. So let me give you some figures here. So right now there are 73,670 mines or computer nodes that have been sold. And again, you can go onto that website I gave, mindtxc.com, and go to dashboard, and all that information is going to be there. It's not hidden, it's updated instantly. You see all the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's happening with the company on a daily basis, the ups and the downs. The smelly washing and the good expensive clothes are all out there for you to watch. Nothing is sanitized. It's just right there because it's instant display of where the mines are at, how many miners are coming, how many coins are being received or produced, mined by these miners. So that's how many mines that have been sold already. We've got 1 million mines. So that looks like we're barely into it. But, you saw those graphs. Well, we got about 250 people coming in a day buying mines, brand new people, 250 a day. On average, they're buying about 4 mines each. So you're looking at 1,000 mines going a day. So it won't be long that million will be taken. So we've got 18,482 miners. That's the people that own those mines. All right. So if you divide the 73,670 mines by the 18,482 miners, then you will be on average about 4 mines each. That's important to know. People aren't just buying one mine. They're buying multiple mines. As I said, the max you can buy is 9 mines. Some are buying 1, but there's a bunch of people buying 9s to get an average of 4 mines each. The best place to come in at is 9 mines, and I'll show you that in a little minute. But if you can't afford 9 mines, that's fine. Just start 1, get your foot in the door, get your toe in the pool, get it wet, and then you can extend that a little bit further on. So there are 95,000 coins created on the network on a daily basis. Okay, those computer nodes are generating digital coins. They're solving mathematical equations. Coins are coming off the network being sold. Coins are coming onto the network that are being bought at those various exchanges. So all those transactions is what the computer nodes use to create digital coins. There has to be a bunch of energy poured in. There's got to be a lot of transactions. There's got to be proof of work for the reward of those coins. So each of those computer nodes working in that network, every time there's a transaction, one of those computer nodes will be doing the transaction, but there'll be 6 other computer nodes validating that transaction to make sure it's real, make sure it came from the right place and it's going to the right place. So for every transaction, there's 6 other computers that validate that transaction, make sure it's not nefarious. And so there's a lot of activity, and that's what generates these coins. So if you take this number of coins and divide them by the number of mines, that's how many coins each mine gets. So you're at about right now 1.3 coins a day, a day, per mine per day. So if you got 1 mine, you're getting 1 share of this 95,000 coins. That's what gives you the 1.3 coins. If you got 3 shares or 3 mines, you're getting 3 shares of that 95,000. So it'd be 3 times that, which is 3 threes are 9, 3 ones are 3. So you'd be doing 3.9 coins a day. All right. So if you got 9 mines, you're getting 9 shares. Well, actually, a little bit more, and I'll show you how. Of that 95,000 coins on a daily basis. So it's important to have more than one mine. That's why people are, on average, buying 4 mines each. So that's basically how it's going. And the price right now per coin is $2.80. We'll say 84 cents. Now, that's somewhere between both of those trading platforms, $2.84. So when we got involved back in December, as I said, it was 8 cents a coin. So we've gone from 8 cents a coin to $2.84 in 8 months. That's actually very, very, very powerful. So you may ask, well, what's my return on investment? When will I get my money back? Well, you really cannot calculate that. You can get close to it. Say, for example, you're producing let me make this a little bigger. On one mine, 1.3 coins a day. Nick, you may have to help me on this. You got a calculator there? I'll let you jump in and give me the calculation. So if you're doing 1.3 coins a day, and those are worth $2.84 a coin, how much are we making a day on that one mine? 1.3 times $2.84. Got a calculator there?
Yeah, yep, I did it. I put it in the chat. Sorry.
All right, give
369.
it to me verbally. What was that?
369.
All right, so great. $3.70 is basically what you're making on a daily basis. So you can figure, okay, if I spent $9.95 on one mine, we won't be able to calculate this because that price is going to go up. So if you divided that by $3.70, you may come up with 250 days or whatever, maybe 7 or 8 months to get your ROI on that $995. Well, that's what I figured out. At 8 cents a coin, when will we be getting our $995 back? I figured about 8 months. Well, Lisa got her money back in 3 months and 2 weeks, 3.5 months. Why? Because although we started when the coin was 8 cents a coin, it kept on going up. So by 3 months, the coin was worth, 85 cents a coin, not 8 cents a coin. So instead of going for 8 months on that ROI, we got out in 3 months, 3.5 months. Although we didn't get out because I said to Lisa, listen, leave that money in. Leave those coins in. They're going to be worth a lot more than 85 cents each here in about 6 months. So your return on investment will be different based upon the value of that coin increasing. But that's on average. I'd say you're looking at 3 to 4 months just as an estimate guess for your ROI. And you can pull it out if you wanted to. As soon as you get $1,000 worth of coins in there, you can pull that money out if you want, put it in your bank. You got no coins left, but you own the mine. That's the powerful thing about this thing. You own the mine and you forever will own the mine. You're not just buying coins and sitting on them, waiting for the value to go up, then go back out to the marketplace and sell them and make a little bit on the difference. And then you have to buy coins at that current value and sit on them for another 6 months and wait for the price to go up. It's none of that. You can sell your coins, yes, but you can come home and you still own the mine. And the next day you wake up, it's produced the same amount of coins a day that it did the day before. So extremely powerful. So that's what I want you to understand and think about is the value of what you got by owning a mine, not the coins. And there's a limited number of these mines. There's 1 million mines. People are buying 4 to 5, up to 9 mines each. And once those mines are sold, that's it. You cannot get any more people in once they're sold. So we made sure all our friends and family, if you're in because of me, I consider you family or friend. We went to our family and friends and said, this is an opportunity of a generation. Please get in. If you don't believe me, just get one mine. If you can do it, if you can afford $9.95, do it. I couldn't afford it. I had to borrow it from my wife's vacation account and get it and get a mine, and then we got in and started to see the value of that happening. So whatever you got to do to get in, at least get one mine, and then you can grow that mine over time and not miss out. Because once 1,000,000 mines are sold, all the network will be doing is producing coins, and those people who own those mines own those coins. All right, let me tell you a little bit about the opportunity of buying multiple mines. For example, if you are wanting to get multiple mines, the best entry point for that would be $9.95 times 5. That will get you 5 mines, because if you buy 5 mines, the company will actually give you one free because you invested 5 times that to get in. All right. So if you're investing 5 mines or 5 mines, you're going to get 6 mines basically functioning for you because of the value of that extra one. So now instead of, let me see if I have any paperwork on that. We were doing 1.3 coins from one mine. Yeah, that's right. So if we did 6 mines, we're doing 6 times that. That is 18, 7.8 coins a day. Your mine will producing, your account will producing, because you basically got 6 mines. So you go from 1.3 coins a day to 7.8 coins a day, and then multiplied by whatever the value is at that time. Now, the coins don't lock in at that value that when they were created. So the coins that I made back when they were 8 cents a coin, they're worth $2.85 a coin now. I'm not, they're not locked in at that price. But whatever the price is today is what all those coins are worth that I've created over the last 8 months. Now, the next option you have here is to buy 9 mines. And if you do that, the company will actually give you 2 free because of what you invested. So now you're functioning like it got 11 mines. So those of you that own 11 mines, you bought 11, but you got 2 free. That's basically $2,000 you got free. And now you're getting that going on a daily basis, 11 coins. So you were looking at 14, what'd you say, Nick? 14 point what?
14.3 per day.
Thank you. 14.3 coins a day is what you're getting if you got 11 mines functioning and you just purchased the 9. So let's look at that just for argument's sake on your return on investment. If you're looking at that over a period of say 6 months, that projection, remember the graph we saw on DexTrade? That's right on target on what they predicted about 2 or 3 months ago. That's where we would be, and they're right on target. So the prediction on that graph, and based upon what's happened with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with XRP, those big brothers that were gone ahead of us, and where we are on that same trajectory as those, we're going to be about $16 a coin in February. That's 6 months. So let's look at that. If you're interested in what your future is going to look like, we'll show you right here. So if you got 9 mines, and I think we said 14.3 coins on a daily basis, we're going to do 6 months, because I'm going to take you through to $16 in February. In February, that's 6 months away. 6 threes are 18, so that's 180 days. So how many coins will we have in 180 days?
2,574.
All right, 2,574 coins in February of next year. All right, that's 6 months. Now, I am going to divide that by 2, because remember, the number of coins that are being produced on a daily basis is gradually going down as more and more mines are sold. That 95,000 coins a day is pretty static. It goes up slightly, a little bit down slightly, but on average, we're about 95,000 coins a day, based upon how many transactions are going through that network, because the number of transactions is what creates those digital coins. That's how they get rewarded for doing those transactions. So 95,000 is pretty consistent, but the number of mines being sold is going up. So that 95,000 coins are being spread thinner and thinner over the whole network. So that's why we're down to 1.3 coins a day. When I got on, there was 35 coins a day. there's only 874 people that were miners in that time. Look how much we've grown. So let's divide it by 2 to be super conservative. So it looks like we'll be at 1,287
Yep.
coins. Gotcha. Thanks. You're one of those computers that validates my transactions. So in February of next year, this is Feb right here of 26. We're going to have probably that number of coins. If you got the 9-pack and they're functioning with 11 mines. So if we are at $16 a coin, what's our value in February of next year?
20,592.
Isn't that amazing, guys? You put in less than $9,000 because they're a little bit less than 1,000 each. So you put in less than 9,000, and look at what your investment in 6 months is, 20,592. And you haven't told a jolly soul. You haven't shared this with anybody. This is just what your account is producing based upon buying 9 mines and getting 11 or getting an extra 2. So now you got 11, where you'll be in February of next year. Now, let's go 365, because it's not going to stop at $16 a coin. That's just where they're projected to at this point in time. So let's go back and we will do that again. And that we were at 14.3 coins a day. And I'm going to multiply this time by 365 days to give us a year from now. How many coins will you have?
5,219.5.
19.5. Okay, let's go there. 220 coins by that time. Let's divide that by 2 to be super conservative. I don't want to blow this thing up so it's like, yeah, right, sure. Let's go on the conservative side and see what that does for us. So we are now at what, 2,000?
610.
610, okay. Coins, conservatively speaking, in a year. Now, we will probably not be at 25. If we're at 16 in February and we're on target to get there, so August of next year, we're going to probably be way up in the clouds. But I'm going to keep it at $25 a coin just to be not a liar. So $25 times 2, 6, 10, what are we looking at?
Now we're at 65,250.
Wow. That is super amazing. So again, you invested less than $9,000 and didn't do a thing. You threw that little coin into the back closet and forgot about it. Actually, you get a coin like this. If you're not a miner yet, you get a coin like this in the mail. And on the back of that is a code that lets you get into the back of your app, and you'll be able to see the coins being produced on a daily basis. So and then when you want to cash out, this thing is called a cold wallet. It means that you can only put coins on it. You can't get it off. It's not on the grid. It's not out there in the internet where people can get your coins off. So it's a super security cold wallet. When you're ready to cash out, you actually pull this coin out of this package, peel that sticky label off the back, and underneath, etched into the coin itself, is a QR code. When you scan that inside your app, you'll turn it into a hot wallet. Now, all those coins right here that you see this time next year that were in your cold wallet, you'll have 2,610 coins available to take out and sell on DexTrade at $25 a pop if they're valued at that, and then pull them off into your bank account through Coinbase or Kraken or wherever you may have an account tied to. But you spent $9,000, and in 12 months, you got 65,250 coins back. Dollars back. That is amazing. That is unheard of. So if you got your money tied up in IRA, 401k, whatever it may be, you want to, and you're just sitting there looking at it daily, but you don't even look at it anymore because it's just disgusting sitting there looking back at you at the same value it has for the last 3 or 4 months. So you may want to pull it out and get it into that. Again, with any investment, there's no guarantee, but we've seen tremendous things happen with this in our short 8-month period of time working with this. And we got projections. So we got 2 accounts, Lisa and I, and we are producing those coins. We've actually increased the number of our mines to actually produce more coins, and I want to show you that. But we've got our targets in March, February of next year, April of next year, how many coins we're going to have, how many we want to pull off, what the value of those coins are projected to be at that time, and when we're going to pay our mortgage off and things like that. We've already paid our credit cards off, $7,000. I paid off my exterior kitchen that we have built. I had $9,000 left on that. That's paid off. My mortgage is next. So it's real tangible. This is not pie in the sky when you die. This is steak on your plate while you wait. So let me show you how you can increase the value, the production of your mine by what we did. All right. So here's what the company does for you. They said, okay, you can come in at the very least at $995 and they'll get you one mine. That mine is functioning at 100 megahash. I mentioned this word earlier. It simply means the production power. So if you've got one mine, it is functioning at 100 megahash, and that is what's producing your 1.3 coins a day. You say, well, 1.3 coins a day is not much. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not much. But you know what? One Bitcoin is worth $117,000. Bitcoin back in 2010 was 4/10 of a penny. If you search May 22nd, 2010 on Google, it'll bring up Bitcoin Pizza Day, because that's a day when a guy took his 10,000 Bitcoin and sold them and got $41. Because they were 4/10 of a penny. He got $41 from 10,000 Bitcoins. He sold that, pulled his money out, and bought 2 large pizzas for his family and some sodas. And one Bitcoin today, that's 2010. That's 15 years later. One Bitcoin is $117,000. So don't get too hicked up on the number of coins. It's the value of the coins that's going to do it. That guy basically bought $1 billion worth of pizza. Each of those 2 large pizzas, 500 million each today, if he'd saved those 10,000 Bitcoins. All right, so here's what the company does for you. If you want to help them grow, and they need to grow, they've got to get on the Coinbase. Once we get on the Coinbase, we're going to explode. It's going to go international. I don't know where they're going to be. There's other exchanges they could be on, and that's one of them. So if we get there, we got a premium coin, and it's going to just go global. So they need to qualify to get on there. You just can't go and join Coinbase whenever you want to. You got to have a sizable network. You got to have X number of miners that are mining. You got to have X number of transactions that are going backwards and forwards. You got to have a very robust entity, a company, to get invited onto Coinbase. But we'll get there. So here's what the company does. If you help us grow these and get your family and friends in to buy these mines, for every 3 people that you bring into the company and they buy mines, doesn't matter how many mines they buy, maybe 1 each or 10, whatever, 9, but they said, we'll give you 100 megahash for your mine. So instead of producing 1.3 coins, you're going to be producing 2.6 coins, okay, because of that extra 100 megahash. Then they say, listen, if you can do that within 30 days of you getting, look at the date you got in, if you can get your mother, your sister, your brother-in-law in, and they buy their mines, we'll give you another 100 megahash if you do that within the first 30 days. So now you're up to 5.9 coins a day. You bought one. But because of what the company's doing here, this is how you can grow your mine. If you don't have the money to jump in and get 5 mines and get 1 free, or get 9 mines and get 2 free, you can start with 1. So again, you can share that with a co-worker, a friend at church, your brother-in-law, whatever, and they will give you another 100 megahash for your mine. So now you've got, what's that? 6.5? Nope. 2, 7.2. Yes, thank you. 7.2 coins coming out of that. And once again, if you do it within 30 days, they'll give you another 100 megahash. And this doesn't stop. There's no limit on how many people you invite in of your family and friends and how you can double that mega hash if you do it within 30 days. Right there, I've got 5 mines functioning for me. The one that I purchased and the 4 others that they gave me. Now, 4 threes are 12. I must have done some bad math in there. 5 threes are 15. 5 ones are 5. All right, help me here. So that's 5.9. No, that's where I went wrong. 4.9. So that's now 2, that's 6.2. And so now that's 5 times 3s are 15, 5 ones are 5, 1 is 6. That was 5 in there. Mercy. You get the picture? So you're going to be functioning at 6.5 coins a day when you actually just purchase 1 mine because of the mega hash that's added to your mine from the company because you're helping them grow that. So that's a way to do it. Or you can combine both those. If you came in, say, for example, bought 5 mines, got that 1 free, but then also shared that with family and friends, those extra 100 mega hash will be added to the mega hash that you've already got. And you don't have to share it. That's why this is not multi-level. There's no requirements on you to share this. There's no minimum requirements of things you have to buy and store in your garage to qualify as an override on all those people underneath you. None of that exists. And so, but you can share it if you want to. There's benefits if you want to share it because you get a stronger mine producing those coins. And that's what the bottom line is all about. So that's what you want to do. So that's building your mind power. And then lastly, I want to wrap this up quickly by sharing with you how you can actually get some cash along the way if you want it. So those 3 people that we mentioned that you brought in just a minute ago, when they come on in, one may buy 1 mine, the other may buy 3 mines, this person may buy 6 mines. The company tracks those points because you just brought in 6 threes, 9 and 1 is 10. You just brought in $10,000 for the company. All right. They bought 10 mines collectively, and they're about $1,000 each. So they put $10,000 in your commission potential account. So you got 10,000 sitting there, and you can share that if you want. Take it out. And here's how you do that. Again, this is not compulsory. It's up to you if you want to do this or not. But they put you in the organization right here. And they say, we're going to have you help you build your own little organization. You'll have a left side and a right side. These people, your sister, your brother-in-law, your mother that you brought in, we're going to put them right here in your organization, either on one side or the other. He's your first guy, bought 1 mine. Your brother-in-law bought 3. Your mother bought 6, or a co-worker. And so they add up these points. And they say, listen, if you can match these points on a weekly basis, we'll let you take some cash out. So if you can match 3 to 3 points, 3 on your left and 3 on your right, you qualify to take $1,000 out that week. If you can match 6 to 6 points on your left and right, that qualifies you to take $2,000 cash out. Or if you can match 9 to 9, you're able to take $3,000 out on a weekly basis if you match those points. Well, look what I've done over here. Those first 3 people in, they match 3 to 3. Here's a 3-pointer here, and I got a 6-pointer over there. So I'm going to use up 3 out of that 6. There's going to be 3 left over. That gives me $1,000 I can receive from the company that week. Now, the point I didn't use up will roll over. This 3-point over here will roll over. So I start next week with 1 on my left and 3 on my right. And so I can continue to bring people in. Now, that $1,000 I just got, that brought my $10,000 down to $9,000 because I used up $1,000. But I brought 3 more people in over time, and they may have done the same thing. The first person bought 1, this guy bought 3, this one bought 6. They'll also be placed in my organization. So he's a 6th person over here. 1 person bought 1 mine, there's 1, and 3 here. So they'll add that up at the end of the week. Well, look at that. I've made this next category 6 to 6 because of extra points rolling over from last week. So I'm going to make $2,000 that week. This is cash money. All right. And so I use up that 6 over there. I've used up that 6. I got 1 each on that side, 1 on the other side to carry over from the next week. So I get $2,000. Well, that 9,000 will then come down to 7,000. But I brought in another 10,000. There's 1, 3, and 6 mines that were purchased. That's another 10. So that's 7,000. Now 17,000 that I've got in my kitty, in my commission potential to pull that out. And it's very easy to get up to 9 to 9. You think, how on earth do you get 9 to 9 points every week? Well, here's how it happens. This guy here that you brought in, your brother-in-law, he's sharing it at work with a co-worker, a friend at church he's sharing with. They buy 3 mines each. There's 6 points. Now he's made $2,000 because he's matched $1,000 because he's matched 3 to 3. But those 6 points go to me on my tree because it's inside my left leg. So all these people over time will be doing that. Not all of them, but most of them want to share with family and friends. So it's not long before you will be getting $3,000 a week, not just from the points of people that you're bringing in, but people inside your little organization. They're doing the same thing, and all those points are going to you. So you wake up Friday morning and you may have 26 points over here. You may have 17 points over here on the right. Now, remember, max is at 9. So those 26 will go back to 9 come Saturday when they shut the gates and add it all up. That 17 will go to 9. That over 9 doesn't roll over. Under 9 does. That's why I had my 1 point, 3 points, 6 points, whatever, rolling over until I used it up. But over 9 doesn't roll over, it rolls away. So you max out at 9. So the most you can do is 3,000 a week, which is very good based upon those points that you are accumulating. Now, they're going to pay you in USDC. So you'll need to have a Coinbase account. If not, they'll assign one to you, Ethereum coin, which they'll put your USDC on. That's basically a US dollar currency or coin, crypto coin that it's tied to. And it's 1-to-1 to the dollar. So if you make $3,000, you got 3,000 USDC. And you can pull that out of your Coinbase account into your bank account, and it comes back to USD. You don't lose money on it because it's 1-to-1 to the dollar. Now, you may not need that $3,000. You say, I'm okay with cash, I'm fine, but they'll let you take it as Texas coin, TXC, instead of USDC, which means they'll take $3,000 and based upon the value of the coin at that time, let's see, $3,000 at $2.84, you're probably looking at 1,000, just over 1,000 and maybe 50 coins. Just a little over that. So that's TXC. Based upon that 3,000, that's going to be turned into 1,050 coins and added into your wallet because you didn't need that money. All right. So that's fabulous. But how long it would take to make 1,050 coins at 1.3 coins a day? Probably 3 years, 2 to 3 years. So if you don't need the money, get the Texas coin so that you can build up for the days to come. And the critical thing is here, I've got cash potential because I've brought people in. So if you want cash out, you got to have cash in. And the only way to get cash into the company is by referring your family and friends, them buying mines, and they'll give you $1,000 per point or per mine that those people that you brought in purchase. All right. That's your cash potential. So if you stop bringing people in, that ultimately over time will go down to 0, and you cannot get your USDC and you cannot get your TXC out, or you can't buy them because you got no cash potential. All right. So that's basically it. There's lots of other little bits and pieces that I can't go into tonight because of time, but it's all good. There's nothing that's going to come back and bite you because you didn't know about it up front. It's all good. So I'm going to open up Q&A now and see if you have any questions based upon what we've talked about. So let me leave that meeting and I'll come back onto that screen and we'll go to Q&A and see if we can get those questions answered for you. All right. Does someone have a question that you want to pop into the group. There's a Q&A button on your screen, and you'll be able to put your question in there, and we'll get that answered. All right, maybe we've covered enough that there's no questions. So what I want to do is, if you've got further things to follow up with, get with the person that invited you to this webinar. They'd be happy to help you, get you in, get you set up. I am going to put a link in the chat box right now of the form you can use. Now, the company takes crypto, all right, because it's a crypto company. So if you don't have crypto, you'll have to do Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. And the company doesn't take that. It's a nightmare trying to get that money in. Banks close them down. There's too much. Millions of dollars are pouring through. So banks don't like that. So I've set up a form that you can fill out. And if you fill that out with the details on how you want to pay, then the opportunity there is to pay me with it. And then I send my crypto into the company on your behalf. So that's a possibility too. I'm going to put that form in our chat so you can nab that. There, it's in the chat now. So you can get that form, copy that, and hang on to it. And that'll enable you to get in if you want some other way to process that. If you don't have cryptocurrency, we'll help you to get in and get you set up as well.
Hey, Byron.
All right. Yes, sir.
I apologize. The chat is disabled, and they are probably not seeing what you typed.
It's disabled.
And the Q&A is open, but the chat is not. Oh, you did say to everyone. You are the only one that can do that.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, yeah, in a webinar, I guess
there's a few
you can't
questions.
talk in class.
Yeah.
So great. So everybody should have that in the chat. So copy that, and you'll get that from me. Okay.
There's also a few questions if you want to look at the Q&A.
Right. So first question, yes, Sylvia, how does it work for a husband and wife team? So you want to, what Lisa and I did, I got in, put myself there, and then I sponsored Lisa. The person bringing me in sponsored me, got me into the organization. I got set up with One Mind, and then I sponsored Lisa. That's also on the form. Who's the one sponsoring, and where do you want them to go? That's on that form. So when that comes back to me, I know where to put them and how to get it done. So you can do a husband and wife type of a setup. And then, or if your wife's in a secondary spot, it doesn't matter which one you go to it, but those points that she is making also flows up to the top point where the husband may be, and he gets those points as well and can cash out on those as well. Okay, will there be more than average of 95 coins since they are building more facilities? No. Great question. The facilities that they are building are backup facilities. So ultimately, there'll be 35 backup facilities or centers across Texas. Right now, there's 3. They're laying the concrete platform in Victoria, Texas right now. The shipping container that has 200 computer nodes in it is coming off the dock in Houston, and that'll be going to Victoria, where we have good electrical flow to supply that, and that'll be a redundant backup center. So if a bomb drops on McKinney, God forbid, we've got other backup centers. So the network itself is set up to produce the 95,000 coins a day on average, and adding these redundant centers won't change that. Now, after several years, all of crypto or decent cryptocurrencies go through what they call halving, whereas the number of coins that are produced on a daily basis drops in half. That happens about every 5 to 6 years. And so we were nowhere near that, but that's why we encourage our people to get X number of mines they can. Say, for example, when all those mines are sold, you got 95,000 coins being produced divided by 1 million mines. So you're at 0.095 coins a day. That's basically 1/10 of a coin that one mine will be producing. So you want to get at least 10 mines, then 10 times 1/10, you got one coin being produced a day in your personal account. And if the coins are worth $1,000 by then there's $1,000 a day that you're getting because you got 10 mines creating that 1/10 each. All right, great question. What is a symbol for the coin? It's TXC. TXC. Now you'll see and by the way, we're only on DexTrade and Bitmart. So if you go to any other exchanges and you see a TXC up there, that's a bogus coin. It's not our coin. That's someone else looking at the Texas coin opportunity and say, oh my Lord, look at the growth of that coin. And they're trying to sell other bogus coins out there with a TXC in it. And that's not good. So when we ever get the Coinbase, then and we register and we got our icon or our symbol TXC, then they will brush off all the other bogus TXCs that are out there that really are not real coins. Okay, next question from Chase. If I paid a commission and it was paid to the Ethereum coin, how can I get that to Coinbase? Typically ERC20, that I want to get to Coinbase. Yes. So on your Ethereum coin, you'll have to turn that into a hot Ethereum coin. So you will upload that or scan that into MetaMask, that Ethereum coin, turn it into a hot coin by getting that code off the back of it. That's etched in the code. Now you got a hot Ethereum coin in MetaMask, METAMASK. It's got a little picture of a fox. That's where it's secure. Now you can go to your, if you want to send that USDC over to Coinbase and you've got an account on Coinbase, you want to get that receiving code on Coinbase and put that in the MetaMask app, and you want to send that over to the Coinbase where you have your accounts, bank accounts, and you can pull those off. So that's why I encourage people to get a Coinbase account if they can, because then you don't have to do the extra step to get it back to the Coinbase account. The reason why the company sends it out in Ethereum coin is because you just made $3,000 or $2,000, and they're not going to hang on to you. They're not going to hang on to it. So if you have not provided them a receiving code in Coinbase in your profile, then they're going to put it on an Ethereum coin and mail that out to you and say, your $2,000, $3,000 is on this. Activate it and you'll have it. They just don't want to hang on to people's money. So the company is about seven, well, I wouldn't say seven. They say 7 to 10 days to get your hard copy coin out to you. And they're probably 2 weeks behind because of the number of miners that are coming in. So they're still going out. They're just a little bit slower than normal. But here's how you track your coin before you get it. That code on the back of your coin, the coin's being assigned to you. So it's in your account. If you go into your account on minetxc.com, all right, minetxc.com. If it's the first time you've gone in there, put your email address and click, this is my first time. Don't try to put your password in because you're not set up yet. Click on, this is my first time. They will send a email to that email address you put in where you set up your password, then come back to that, put your password in and get into your account at minetxc.com. Go to your profile, look down your profile and you'll see that code there as your coin ID code, even before you got this hard copy in the mail. It's been assigned to you. So that's where you'll find it. Now you can go onto Blockchain Mint. There's two apps you want, the Texas Coin Wallet and Blockchain Mint app. If you don't know how to do that, contact me or your person that got you in, and they will get you, let you know how to sign up on Blockchain Mint, okay? Once you get on Blockchain Mint, then you can type in that code. The Texas Wallet app, you got to scan that code on the back. But in Blockchain Mint, you can actually manually enter that code, and then you'll be able to see that happening on a daily basis. But in your account at MineTXC, if you go to your profile, you'll be able to see the number of coins you're being produced on a daily basis anyway, even before you got the coin. So it's really not critical that you get your coin. It will come, but you can still observe what's happening with it before then. All right, we're going to have to wrap up. I told people we'd be done by 8 o'clock. So if you have other questions that you want to get to me, my email for everything Texit, you can write it down, is TexitCoin, TEXITCOIN, TexitCoin@gmail.com. All right. And that will get me involved in answering your questions if you need me to. All right. So you'll get this coin along with your welcome packet. So if you have not got your welcome packet, it's because you haven't got your coin. So your coin's going to come in your welcome packet with all the information you need to get yourself up and running. All right, guys. Thanks very much for your participation. And we're going to be trying to do this every other Monday night so that we can keep up with the latest information on the value of the coin and what's happening with that, and get you some help there. Now, if you're in Australia or New Zealand, they're overnighting me all the coins for Australia and New Zealand. It should be arriving tomorrow. We contacted them today and said, you send them overnight. They were behind in them, so they're sending me everything they've got with the names and addresses of the people with those coins. I'll be shipping that over to Australia to Josh, and then he's going to disseminate it from there. So that's in the works. It's happening. I know it's very difficult when you're overseas because the company won't send these coins overseas. They've lost too many. And they've already assigned somebody that code, and the mine is already producing coins, and then the coin gets lost, and we don't know where it is. So they will not be activating that coin for you overseas until you sign into minetxe.com and create an account. Then they will assign that. Even though the coin is producing the amount of your mine is producing the coins, you won't see that until you actually get into that account. All right. Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, and we'll go from there. What we've recorded tonight, we'll be chopping up into segments. So we'll be making that available to you as well. Thanks again for joining us. We'll hope to see you down the road. God bless you all.